worker and some contracts for contracted services, but there are not a lot of teachers at the moment.
Any questions on the 2019-2020 teacher contracts resolution? Joe?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried 6-0-1. Resolution 1819211, approval of 2019-2020 teacher stipends. Motion by Norm, seconded by
I'll second.
Dick.
Okay, the stipends here, the master stipends are frozen. I think I shared with somebody, like, we are absolutely going to pull together a updated compensation model for the school district this summer. There are definitely merit to our current one, but it has not been brought to the board for approval since 2016-17 school year. So we essentially funded the model as far as the funds that were available last year, but it was how it was distributed. How those funds were distributed is what was determined by the Board of Education. So right now, these are the extended days. The one change here, we need to meet with our ag teacher just to talk to him about his current contract and just to dig down deep into what the duties are about and what does enrollment mean to that. We just didn't have a chance to do that, so I put that as your TBD to be open, like, hey, that one, when you approve it tonight, you're not actually approving that one. That one's gonna come back at a later date after we have a chance to meet with him. That'll be soon, so hopefully at the May 20th board meeting. The certificate stipends are for professional staff that have earned a specific certificate that we recognize. Master stipends, again, those are frozen at $1,000. Depending on the model, those may change, but I'm comfortable with what we have right now. Mentor stipends, actually, that, Janet, you have a document that, I moved the mentor stipends to save the funds for $1,500. We need to verify over the summer who will be getting that. So, Janet, could you make mentor stipends for them? Okay, hold on to those, please. They definitely could be appropriate. We just need to verify, because we do not have the new hires at all 3 buildings as of this moment. So we just need to relook those every year. And in the master document, that's a Google sheet, I've changed those. So that would be an edit that needs to be done. And then in the curriculum stipends, we had a team this year. The team's going to get pared down to 2 based upon the needs of the school district for that. We made a lot of progress this school year as far as the curriculum work, and we hope to have, what do we want to know, what do we want our kids to know and be able to do as far as learning targets and priority standards and proficiency targets, ready to go for everybody by the end of summer, as we get into the beginning of the school year with the new report card that fits with that. So I think we're doing well. It's just been a very long process in order to get to that stage. So we should have those, and when they're done, they will be up on our website for everybody to access. So that's what the stipends are about. Right now, there's $15,000 in savings from the prior year. So note, there's the ag teacher. We just want to touch base with him about that. And then also the mentor stipends, I'm saving those $1,500. They will get assigned, but just we don't know to who yet.
Any questions on this stipends for teachers for next school year? Norm?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carried 6-0-1.
And our language states that those are approved at tonight's meeting, by the way, annually. So.
Resolution 1819212, approval of open enrollment applications. Any motion?
So moved.
Dick? Seconded by
Second.
Dave.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the first tab that we have here on the screen says new open enrollment in 2019-20. So it goes by grade. So on the left-hand side, we have 28 students. The second column is by grade level. So you can see it's really spread throughout the whole school district, high school, middle school, and Parkview. The 4K students count for half-time. The dollar amount per pupil, that is still a TBD in the state of Wisconsin. We don't have a new number, and I went on the hunt for it. It's $7,379, and for special education, it's $12,431. That's regardless of the support that a student needs. Actually, right now, it's in the works that districts can charge the other school district that they're coming from an additional cost above and beyond the $12,431. They have to prove that they have the high cost of that. So I find that interesting because they just put out a flat number because they said, you know, sometimes you'll gain, sometimes you lose, and it'll just wash out in the end. Well, they're looking at actually permitting districts to charge more for that. So I'm not sure what the process even be for that. So so we have student names, which helps us tremendously because we can look at those and see the pattern that come with families. So many of these names, they may not look connected, but they're actually often related to other people that are on the same exact list. Special education status, you see the yeses there. As a Board of Education, you actually did not approve many seats open for special education because we're trying to really harness in and make sure we're kind of more stable in our program. All of these are on the right-hand side then on the 18-19 tuition waiver. So these students were living in the school district at the beginning of the school year. Then they moved. And when they moved, Janet was notified. And Janet reached out to them and said, hey, you moved throughout the school year planning on attending here. Yes, we are. Okay, here's a tuition waiver. And that works just for 1 year. They do not have to go to open enrollment when they do that. They can stay in their school. That was their resident school. So you can see where they moved. So these are our families who were here and moved. All of these yeses, they moved to these different locations. So you can see Ramira and Horicon as the pattern and where they moved to. Well, on the other page, you're going to see the same exact thing. Tuition waivers where they moved and they're still continuing in their school that they were in. So these are families that moved to these communities, they were attending here, and they want to continue. So because of that, their existing students, it doesn't matter if they're special education, they will continue here. They're automatically grandfathered in. We knew that they moved already during the school year, and we said, hey, sure, same tuition waiver. So then the dollar amount associated with this potentially is $232,270. And I think pretty confident in these numbers coming to fruition. So then on the next page, we have the new open enrollment out. Out of these, you can see who are tuition waivers, which means those students actually moved into the Mayville School District, but they are continuing to attend their resident school. So I mean, that's a big difference. If you look at the amount of students that have moved out, but they're attending, they're continuing to attend. So, and I do have a report from MD Rockers that's coming in to talk about the impact of the merger, potential impact of the merger of the village of Pekoski and the impact which has on enrollment.
Names right there,
So the names are okay. That's okay.
being special education
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh, that I don't like. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. So,
The,
yep.
something that concerns me on there is, and it's just that, what are we classifying as special education? In one aspect, it's a very large percentage special education.
There's a state percentage that is
Well, it
kind of
just
the
seems
norm.
like
We're not even.
most of the open enrollments in, a very large percentage of the open enrollments in are special education. If you look at the numbers,
Just on that list.
just on
But
that.
if you look at the overall list, it doesn't look like that. These families move.
Okay.
That's what you have to see. The question is, wasn't that interesting? We have a lot of families
We have a lot of
move
families,
that happen to be special education, they continue to
but
want
they
to
want to
attend.
continue to work there.
Yeah, that's the question. Is why they move it? What's up with that? And it's for jobs. It's for, I'll stick with jobs, and I won't go down the other path on the multitude of reasons that happens in society today on some of the movement.
Okay.
Most of it is just housing, what's available. One of the things that came out of the Rockers report is there's no housing available. So if you go and look for what's for sale in Mayville, not a lot. That's one of the challenges. And as far as building goes, there were 3 years in the Mayville School District in the last 8 years that there were no homes built. So that would be indicative of why people would be moving. One, affordable housing, that just at their price point. New housing, there's not a lot of new housing in the area, so, I mean, that could be the answer, but we don't ask, why are you moving? I think that's not a standard protocol for us. However, we are just
Could it be?
today, so just today, Janet, we did. We
Okay.
did though.
Okay.
For the Roffer study, we did. So I shouldn't say we don't. We haven't in the past, and we actually sent out surveys to everybody who built or moved, and so we've got a lot of data to come out of that. So in the meantime, to me, that's a good trend overall for the data that we have there. And based upon student needs, we'll see if there's some additional revenue that we would be billing, but the same could come our way too. So, but yeah, there's literally no reason why you would deny this, just so you know. So they've all filled the proper applications, they're 100% ready to go. We have to adjust our staffing accordingly. We already did the preliminary notices, the final notices, and the contracts. So you're locked in, is where we're at. So any changes when it comes to the budget are gonna be behind the scenes on support staff related, building budget related, that kind of stuff. So, but staffing wise, we're starting to dial in and pare down what we can do for our tools for 2019-20. So what this would be a 93,000 in the plus. That comes to fruition, and none of that's built into the budget for next year. So, and we're hesitant to go and just put that out there like that. First, we have to go through and do our count again, and see whatever changes we have. We've already projected an open enrollment in and out change based upon our current status, and that's already accounted for. So this will be the next round, so this is a positive, so it's good.
Any questions on this resolution for open enrollment applications? Dick?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 6-0-1. Resolution 1819213, approval of 2019 graduating class.
So moved.
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Joe. What did it count, 105?
Yeah, he left us.
Yeah.
I actually was gonna go and count the list myself, because I wanted to see if there are anybody who didn't make it, you know, I mean, it's really right up until the end, so we tried to do whatever it takes to get
Yeah,
students to
usually just a
graduate.
question right now, right?
Yeah, exactly, he left me.
Yeah, who's on the bubble?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or how many are on the bubble?
So the copy and paste real quick.
So we'll have that conversation, and next board meeting will give you an update.
Yeah.
Any questions on this graduating class list?
And Dave, let who's ever in charge this year of the graduation, so you can give your son his certificate.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah? Dick?
But I,
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 6-0-1.
Empty nester? Empty nester?
that's,
Resolution 1819214, approval of monetary gift from Condex. Motion by Norm,
I'll second.
second by Dave. Is there any designation from what? Or-
yeah, I thought I seen that.
Into
Oh,
Mayville
yes.
manufacturing.
Yeah, manufacturing. Somebody will manufacturing this would help them out with something.
His communication didn't make it to me.
Nice gift.
Condex is,
Thank you.
Condex is very helpful in
Yeah.
the school district, they really do a lot for Elmira.
Norm?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carried 6-0-1. Resolution 1819215, approval of lawn maintenance bid for Fox Den.
Pass it back.
Motion by Nord, second by
I'll second.
Dave. Okay, Travis.
Okay, well, we put that out for two returned bids, Fox Den and Travis Pools.
PLC.
He came in the best price, saved us about $350 or so for cutting.
For cutting, yeah.
So, suggest we go with him.
So what's interesting is that Fox Den has new ownership,
Yes.
and Fox Den is our current, like,
Yes.
the new ownership
Yeah,
is
the
our
Mookie
current
board.
maintenance.
Yeah. Zach Mookie. Him and his father purchased Fox Den, so now they'll be able to offer us two services that we didn't have before. The shrub and, basic cleanup care and maintenance of our shrubs and stuff, and then also cutting of the grass.
Yeah, he had a good experience
Yeah.
this year.
He's been
So
great,
as a new
so.
business owner, everything's been great, so.
Any questions on this lawn maintenance bid?
So the one thing I brought up is we should have it more than 1 year. Should we put it out for bids every year there?
He did provide a 3-year bid, Mookie did, same price, so, but Pools did not, so.
So he locked in a price for 3 years.
He's willing to, yes.
Wow.
Looks like it would be a benefit, we wouldn't have to go through.
Are we still mowing the old administration
No.
building?
No.
are we?
No, that's been removed from the scope.
Okay.
So, but then, of course, what we didn't have last year was the construction zone, which that will be, again, so moving forward, we'll have the construction zone areas that are now seeded and hopefully grow.
We should start getting green pretty soon.
Yeah.
So so you went out to RFP for lawn services, you went to 3 companies, 2 came back.
Yep. The other one was KB.
One of them committed to literally 3 years of locking in a price. And the one that's the one that you're supporting, and on top of it, they came in about $300 lower per round
Yeah.
of mowing.
Yep.
So my question to you would be is, do you wanna lock in on anything? The scope, you looked at the scope and it's apples to apples.
Yes.
The one thing that was requested, if we do bid, we do it much earlier. Now, this is lawn mowing time right now.
Yeah, they requested it.
Yeah, they requested it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's kind of an oversight on my part, being new to the position, I just didn't
Right.
really think of putting that out to bid.
I think
Or
putting
lock
out
in.
a 3-year bid, I don't know, I'm just saying, if you put out a 3-year bid,
That'd be more transparent to put out.
that'd be more
bid.
transparent. I
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable with approving
Yeah.
a 3-year bid right now.
I agree with what he just said, that sounds good to me too. Lock in the year.
And that was
go
kind
out
of my
for
feeling
more.
as well, let's just keep it year to year, so.
Yeah, you didn't ask
Yeah,
for
we
that.
didn't put that.
Oh, no, I
in.
have no problems going to a 3-year bid, I feel uncomfortable with the transparency of everything.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, the key part is this is approval for next year.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, so perfect.
Any more questions on the lawn maintenance bid? Norm?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 6-0-1. Thank you, Travis. Resolution 1819216, approval to hire Dana Schrader, limited term special education paraprofessional at the middle school. Motion?
So moved.
Joe,
I'll second.
second by Dave.
Kara's gonna be at the next board meeting to talk to some of the other hires. This is when it says limited term, it's just for the rest of the school year. We are fortunate that this is a retired special education teacher agreeing to come back in this limited window to be a support staff member for us. So based upon just some of the staffing challenges, and we actually had a staff member at the high school in the paraprofessional role that cannot return most likely for the rest of the school year. It's just trying to make sure that we're staff meeting student needs.
Any questions on this resolution for limited term special education paraprofessional? Joe?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Motion carried 6-0-1. Resolution 1819217, approval of bid, alternative bid for Mayville High School classroom renovations. So, motion by Nora, second by
Second.
Joe. Okay,
All right, so, got some budget documents. Big picture, before we do this, I think we have to just talk about state of the state with the referendum and how things are going, and what's coming up for the rest of the summer. So, some of that will be, there's a presentation that Kate Egan helped to put together. I apologize that Good project, this slideshow, didn't get added onto this afternoon. Kate ended up having emergency procedure, and while she's supposed to be supporting me, had to go take care of her health. And then our lead point of contact for the Findorf was on vacation, so I had to get a backup person to help with some dollars and cents information that are getting updated behind the scenes. So about 1 o'clock today, we finally had that all pulled together. So just trying to get that down to the pennies as much as possible. So I have one document that we use to keep track of our owner's costs. So with the referendum, I just gave you that. Yep, I gave you enough. So with the referendum, there's $3.5 million that has been designated as owner's costs. So this is keeping track of that. So we have a commitment to be working with Findorf for, it's $21,063,821. That's what it looks like as of right now. So I've got another document to give you, but first I want to focus on this one. So A&E design fees, that's everything associated with Gray, as well as like our geotechnical services, our survey stuff. So anything to do with engineers outside of working with Findorf. So all the engineers doing the designing, like Merman, we've heard the name Merman, those costs would be in here, those we're paying directly to Gray. So we have a budget amount of $1.3 million, I'll just round up. Here's what we spent. We contacted them to verify. So when the scope of the project changes, there's some design costs that go along with that. So we believe that we're gonna be a little bit over budget in that area from what the original dollar was, so nothing significant though. Then the builder's risk, we locked in, that's our insurance associated with the project. So that cost goes away after the project is gone. Furniture, it's actually FF&E, it's way beyond furniture. It's a whiteboard, it is anything instructional for the building. It's not just, it's for that chair or for that desk. It's for anything that's not attached to a wall. And even that is incorrect because the whiteboards are not getting attached to a wall. So it's for refrigerators, microwaves, things that are not built in. An oven is built into it, they consider, but not the fridge, not the microwave, that kind of stuff. So that ended up trending to be higher. That's based upon the fact that this is for, also that includes Parkview. We did do an RFP for the actual furniture, and we were fortunate, the savings came in so great that we were able to do the entire high school. It has new furniture that's included. Even some of the cafeteria tables, like cafeteria tables have made it to the middle school based upon the size and how things fit there. So we're trending over there, but we're saving the funds in a different location because we're doing well in other accounts. Facility upgrade allowance, that originally was $250,000. And so if you look at the documents we had when we went to referendum, there's $250 saved there. After bid date, we had to go and reduce that. It just, the funds weren't available. So we bought some new equipment to give a big boost before Travis got in position. Summer of 2018, we purchased equipment for the B&G committee, or I gotta say that, yeah, buildings and ground staff. So right now though, we're trying to lock in, and that account is over by $7,000. The signage, that's the big wordle that we have in the lobby, as well as all the signs that say office, classroom, turn here, that kind of thing. So we're a little bit over budget in that area, but minor in the big picture of $3.5 million. The technology account, we're in the plus there. We were able to take care of the entire building for the technology needs, and also Parkview for the needs that were included in the scope for the referendum, and there's $32,000 in savings in that area. The summer asbestos is broken out, and it's pretty expensive if you look at the big picture. So abatement It's a line item, and we're in charge of the contract.